Hello, I'm Toycat, and for some people, new biomes are kind of like Pokemon, in the sense that they kind of just have to collect them all, and if you're that sort of person who wants to find all of the new biomes, today I have not just one, but two separate seeds that have all of the brand new biomes, even the weird and the wacky ones you definitely don't want, but I'm going to be sharing with you both of those seeds and how to find each of those biomes, because this seed right here, if you want to get it, by the way, type in these seeds to your Minecraft seed generator. You can do this on any platform now, not just any Minecraft Bedrock platform, but on Java as well, because if you do type it in on Bedrock, you're going to spawn right here in this lovely birch forest. It's actually a birch forest old growth, as you can tell from the taller trees around here, which is just a renamed, like, tall birch forest. But either way, it's exciting, and it's great because you spawn this close to two separate mountains, and the third one is just behind both of those, which is really great, but it's not the only wonderful thing. In fact, let me show you by hopping over to Java. Here you can see the exact same seed spawns you in roughly the same place. Not exactly the same place, but close enough. I mean, we're not on top of the tree, but this is really interesting that we now have the exact same world with the exact same generation. I have to say that's interesting. But yeah, something you'll be able to find only on the Bedrock edition because of weird differences of generation is right over here in this first mountain, which as you can see is just past this little forest, because on Java there's nothing. But on Bedrock, the exact same place as this. It's a ruin portal which spawned into the side of a little hill right here. Very beautiful, good opportunity to get some chests, as well as some gold, as well as some obsidian. Wow, isn't that really, really nice? Also, there's a little copper vein poking into the corner right here. So anyway, so now let's go to the new biomes one by one and show you where you can find them on this first seed, because just over here to the right of spawn, past this dark forest, this is the Frozen Peaks biome. As you can see, it is frozen and it has some peaks. They're not the highest of peaks when compared to the, obviously the Jagged Peaks found just over there, or the Stony Peaks, but still, it's impressive to have a mountain this close to spawn, and we're going to come back to this because it has one of the brand new cave biomes instantly accessible from within it, but let's also show you something which I find really cool, because this biome has not just one of the three new mountain types, as well as the three kind of sub-mountain biomes, it has all three of them. As you can see, right over here, on the way to it, we're actually going to go past the Grove biome. This is a brand new Grove biome, which, you know, kind of combines the birch forest into the Jagged Peaks, and then we have Jagged Peaks, which are like kind of snow-covered. They have the iron ore like you're expecting, they have snow like you're expecting. It's wonderful, it's really, really cool, but then, as well as that, we have these Stony Peaks found just over there. I mean, just over here, because of the power of editing. By the way, you can use coordinates in the top left at any point in time to obviously find each of these things, and that will work on the Java edition. For instance, if we take -471, 197, 664, and we type that into the Java edition, as you can see, we're going to end up in the exact same place on this Stony Peaks. The difference, of course, is in ore generation. I feel like we could talk about the differences all day, and it is a very interesting set of differences, I do have to say. Sorry, I find it endlessly interesting how the exact same seed in the same world looks slightly different just because of minor differences that have accrued between Bedrock and Java, but Bedrock and Java differences are a tentpole topic on this channel. Anyway, so this is the third type of mountain. If you now want the free lead-up biomes, because obviously these are the three types of peaks, the things you'll find at the very top of mountains, but there are other biomes that can lead you to them. This is obviously the Grove biome. It's the most common type. It looks like a ski slope because they've got these big foresty trees going on the side. It's a very normal type that you're seeing right here. This is a snowy slopes biome. As you can see, it is delightful, and it has little slopes instead of just trees. It's kind of plain and snowy in that way. It's very, very nice. You can find snowier snow here. Also, you can find here, or you can find this in basically all of the new mountain biomes, is you can find pillager towers, which is nice, but this is all about this seed, so instead we're going to move on to the Meadow biome. By the way, small side note, it has to be said it's incredible that from this one Jagged Peak, you can see a Stony Peak biome, you can see the Frozen Peaks biome from before, you can also see another Frozen Peaks biome over there for what it's worth. Then you can see the Grove biome, the big mountainous one, you can see the snowy slopes, and you can see the meadow we're about to head to. Honestly, the fact that we can only see that far seems pretty low on the render distance. Let's see if we can't up that. So here's what the render distance looks like at about 20 chunks on the Java edition. It's pretty nice, as you can see. You can see most of the way past the biome in each direction, whereas when we turn the render distance to max on the Bedrock version, obviously this is the in-game max as opposed to what we could be doing if we altered our values to get the super render distances, we can see 96 chunks, and honestly, you kind of need the spyglass to see things that far out, right? Anyway, so yeah, it's really cool. Maybe you think that. But yeah, this is the meadow biome we're going to be talking about. Meadow biomes are super weird in their own ways. Also on the way to that, we're going to find this Stony Shores, which, side note, this is one of the most beautiful Stony Shores I've seen. For real, look at this Stony Shores right here. It kind of like seamlessly goes into this, you know, like start of a mountain right over there. And just like, yeah, it's Stony Shores entirely surrounding this little lake. Obviously, Stony Shores will eventually wear off on us as being like a nice biome. But for now, I love this. I love just all of this exposed stone right here on the very edge. It's beautiful. This is one of the seeds I like the most right now. And look at that, there's some lava that's ready to pour out onto the water for you whenever you're willing to update it. But yeah, this is the meadow biome you're probably here for. It is, again, every time I look at this, I think, are we sure? Is this definitely not a bug? There are meant to be this many flowers? We want that? That's desirable? Like, really? And the answer is always, yep, that is what this biome is meant to be. Anyway, this meadow is a very thin and skinny one for what it's worth. It extends very, very, very far this way until, funnily enough, it hits another ruin portal. But that is the 6 overworld cliff-based biomes. Now let's show you the 2 cave-based ones, because I love the way you access this lush cave. As I mentioned earlier, you do it right next to spawn at this frozen peaks right here. And yeah, all you have to do is head into this cave. You follow the grove down until the grove starts to become cave. And then eventually that cave will start to become a bigger cave. And then that bigger cave starts to become, you guessed it, lush cave. You can really just bounce your way down with this one. Might want to be careful with health, especially with the lush mobs that you might find. But yeah, it's a really, 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 really interesting biome because it spawns in a much larger cave, but it kind of spawns like vertically into a sideways cave. If that makes no sense to you, allow me to show you the size of this cave and the width of it, and then show you the fact that, yeah, the lush caves kind of head in the opposite direction, perpendicular to it, and head down like this. It's interesting in my opinion. And yeah, this is a great way to get lush blocks. If you want moss, here is the place to do it. Do you want iron ore? Apparently there's some of it right here. And yeah, so this is a really fun little thing in my opinion. Speaking of fun little things, if you're looking for a dripstone cave on the other hand, all you have to do is dig straight down from where you spawn. Or, because the game is quite handy and provides you with some other access points, you don't even have to do most of that digging yourself. An alternative way in, if you want to avoid digging around because, you know, that requires pickaxes and you want to get in the easiest way possible, you can come in via these caves right over here. It's in, funnily enough, another new but old but renamed biome. And yeah, you can just follow this downwards. Again, it's easy enough to do. There shouldn't be too much effort. And here is the reward of all that copper that you wanted, because it spawns slightly more frequently here. It looks like a lot more frequently based on the amounts we're seeing. And in 1.18, you get more copper per mine. So really, you're just killing it in the copper while you're over here, which is great. And yeah, this dripstone cave biome, which is lovely, and it's kind of dangerous looking around it, like, ooh, just takes one little dangerous trident throw and all of a sudden you're dead. But yeah, this is a pretty healthily sized biome too. It does go on past the cave walls even, so you're gonna find a lot of this no matter where you start digging. And you can even follow it right the way down to Diamond Lair, as this creeper can attest. He's found some himself. And yeah, it's really, really cool in my opinion to be able to see a weird version of the Dripstone Cave biome rather than the archetypical one that you're used to. But that's what I like about this seed. But it's just one of 2 seeds I want to show you today. So when you type in this seed for your Minecraft world, you'll spawn right here. And honestly, this is another one of those wonderful views where you get to see some of the cliffs immediately. In fact, again, almost all of the cliffs, looking at them, because they are pretty common, you know, when you're looking at cliff biomes, to find a lot of different types altogether. But let's go through them anyway. Here is where you spawn. You're right next to this Stony Shore, which is on a brand new river. Honestly, brand new river looks wonderful. Would love to point it out more, but I can't, because instead I'm here to show you this, which as you can see is, it's a snowy slopes going up to nowhere, is my interpretation of this one, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Also, can you tell where the snowiest snow is? I don't know if you can. I don't know if you have a good idea as to which of these blocks are regular snow versus powder snow. Can you maybe tell me? Anyway, so yeah, obviously, sarcasm aside, being able to get right in some powdered snow right next to spawn is very cool. But what you probably prefer are the actual peak biomes, because again, when people think mountains, they're not picturing the groves so much as they're picturing this, the frozen peaks, which is at these coordinates right over here. Again, but with these biomes, it's hard for them to be at spawn unless you physically spawn on them. And even when you spawn on top of them, you've got a long valley to cross, like this one right here, before you find another biome like this one right here, because after the frozen peaks, we have these Stony Peaks. So wow, this is definitely the most impressive of, you know, the Stony Peaks we've seen. You can see how the terrain is forcing itself to be cut off here. If it weren't for that artificial limit, Minecraft would no doubt be generating these mountains even higher. Look at this. Look how just long and wide this Stony Peaks biome is. It's incredible. Maybe I should have started with this one. And look how long that calcite trail is. It's like a little trail the game is leading you down. I love it. I think it's not only a fun way to get calcite, but a great way to see that. Then there is a frozen peaks right over there, and then as you can see in the meantime, there is the jagged peaks. We've got all the peaks together right here. It's wonderful. The only thing better than the peaks are the new caves that you can also see, because there is some big entrances in these mountains that you can access some normal caves if you want to. Sure, it's nice. Or maybe we could go straight into this cave, which is wonderful because it has, as you can see, not just default cave generation, which is the kind of norm, it's most common, but also some lush cave and some dripstone. I have no idea why they generated in such a weird fashion where it's like lush and then dripstone and then lush and then dripstone. Again, there's a big disconnect between here and there. Again, Minecraft works in mysterious ways. I cannot tell you about why those ways are those ways, but I can tell you about the fact that even when you go down, there's just, well, actually that's one little groping vine. That's one glowberry vine right there. And then if we head down even more, you can see that the same thing is true down here. Random glowberry on the ceiling, just to challenge you if you want to collect that. And then there's also some more dripstone, and there's some more, you know, lush caves just on top of this, which is of course a brand new mine shaft, complete with the new legs. It is really, truly incredible to see this sort of stuff. And again, if you want to get your Caves and Cliff experience, and you haven't already, this is the place to be. Also, I was going to not mention it because it's better for comments when you don't mention something obvious, but also look at this. Little amethyst geode. They're harder to find now. You should have got your fill already. This is, of course, a very interesting cave for a ton of reasons. And this is, by the way, just to mention, like, we've gone all the way down this height limit, but bear in mind that we're only at 21 blocks. There's still another, and there's some glow squids chilling there. There's still another 80 blocks of terrain below us. This is my favorite example of how deep caves can be. So just to show you that one again, this cave starts at 145 blocks on the Y coordinate. There's this random snow block right here. Although you could argue that really the cave starts at the bottom of that. So it starts at 100 blocks high up. And yeah, that's you know, the lowest point really. Then you can see that from this, if you do decide to go down some of the sub caves, you end up going down to about 64 blocks, the start of the normal terrain. But here it's quite deep in a cave. And then you can follow that down as far as you like, if you like, even following this water if you want to. Following the cave down to layer 0, the previous bottom of the world, but then there's still another 64 blocks of bottoming you can do, and it's insane. Just, again, the cave adventures you can have if you want to in this update will take you all day long. Will take you, you know, like, it can take you like a full week to explore a cave if they're big enough and they turn into another big caves, which is pretty fun. The reasons to explore those caves are mostly about exploration and grabbing resources in slightly different to normal ways. But again, I feel like going on a big mining trip, trying to come back with as much iron as you can in an hour, or as much of just all the ores as you can, might be a lot of fun. I think you're going to need to bring a lot of shulker boxes for the length of trip you might be going on, or maybe just get yourself a minecart railway, find a chest of minecart, bring it out there. I don't know for sure what the best way to deal with big caves like this is, but I just love the fact that you can spend so long exploring. And there's caves that genuinely go 200 something blocks in height, like this one, which is just nuts to say the least. And so, speaking of nuts, I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you have nuts, then subscribe. Is that just a sexist way of telling women not to subscribe? No, wait, if you do have nuts, don't subscribe. We've got only, sadly, over 80% of you are men already, so we can fix the gender imbalance if some of you guys are just willing to switch team for the YouTube analytics. Do it. Wait, is your primary life concern not my YouTube analytics? Maybe then you won't want to subscribe just because you know that 54% of viewers aren't subscribed, and you should maybe join the ones who are subscribed because they're in the cooler club. Okay, there we go. That's all I've got. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you all in the next one. Unless I die in a tragic accident, of course. But probably not, so I'll see you later for the stream. Goodbye.